Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus, guys, giving you more of the meta. So I want to go ahead and show you another breakdown offensively on ranked game using the spread offense, this mega scheme that I built out of the gun wide trips offset formation. Run roughly about 4 or 5 formations out of this, and I want to kind of show you how this works online. My opponent was not necessarily the best opponent. He didn't. You could tell by some of his decisions on how he ran defense and the people that he used and stuff like that. One of the things I do want to show you is that I always, once again, come out of a run play because I want to go ahead and try to read the coverages fairly quick. He's got a single high safety, but if you see these guys are all lined up, usually that's some type of a cover 3, but most of the time it's cover 1 coverage. So that's basically what I'm looking at when I'm running this coverage. He shifts his line off and actually presses his guys down, and I just decide to go ahead and come out of levels with basically a slant play on the backside, and of course no one's out there. This is a first play, my first possession. I'm able to go ahead and pop this guy for a big field position shift right there for a 38-yard catch just because he got himself out of position. So he was in a cover 3. So once again, he's got a closed coverage. He's got a single high safety. You call this closed coverage because really from a coverage standpoint, posts are not supposed to be able to be effective against this. You know, it really is going to protect the middle of the field. If you got 2 high safeties and these guys are playing deep halves, you can get exposed in the middle of the field. So those are things that you want to know, and these are just fundamental football concepts that carry over to the Madden game. So right here I go with basically RPO. He gets himself out of position, and in that type of situation, I'm able to go ahead and pop him for some more yards because there was no defender in that slant. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that. Off coverage right now, he's showing me kind of like a man blitz. You see how these guys are kind of lined out here. He's got basically double A gap look right here. So I think what I do is I go with this levels. No, I jump out of it. Yeah, I jump out of it and I go into double A gap. The thing with him, he's actually had a guy mugging over the middle of the field, and you can't use the duo play against double A gap when you got a mug, because that means one of the defenders is going to come in clean. So you want to check out of that, maybe go into a stretch play and just get him off guard. So right here, he's actually got the center is uncovered. So this is kind of a good play to go ahead and jump into a trap play. But take a look at the leverage. This guy's slightly shaded to the outside. He's shaded to the inside. And this guy's kind of lined up over the middle of the field. So this might be some type of a rolling coverage, like a cover 3 cloud, or maybe a cover 6. But when you take a look, you wait for the play to get a little bit out. You see these guys are kind of like outshaded, so that might show me some type of a cover 2. So right here I'm actually checking into a play, and because the center is uncovered and he's got these guys out, my goal is to try to go ahead and run the ball up in the middle of the field with this trap play. And I think he got a pretty good block shed in this type of situation. So you can see both is coming off, but the blocking right here, I've got a double team. I've got these guys going to the next level. This guy's falling back. So if I can get around this corner, this could be a huge thing. But I got a star defender over here, and a lot of times these guys will actually go ahead and tack the ball and get me the backfield. So for some reason, I missed my hole and actually ran past Bosa, but I was able to pick up, a good chunk of yards right there. So 3rd and 1 situation right here. He's got like a press guy down. Usually when a guy got pressed down, he got guys up like this. This means this guy's coming out and blitzing. That's usually some type of indicator of that type of a defense. So I'm just going to go into the RPO. I get rid of the ball really, really quick, get to the outside, and get the ball down to 1st and goal. So a play that I've been using a lot down in these type of goal line situations is these off tackle plays. And then I actually I decided to sprinkle this play in. I haven't ran this online in a long time, but it's just a basically jet sweep. You get really good blocking because that running back comes out and seal blocks instead of actually taking a run, and you get yourself a situation where you get yourself a nice little seal blocking right there with the jet sweep. So that's always one of the better jet sweeps that you could use in the game. So now I actually starts hitting with double A gap, but here's the thing. He should be pulling this guy down and putting him in the mug, but he wasn't doing that. So I was quickly jumping into duo. was one of the decisions I did. He actually switched out of it and went into, basically, I went into levels and just took the sideline. If I actually see off coverage and I can quick snap it and I know that the leverage is off, I'm going to go ahead and take that. He spreads this line out. I don't know what he was doing with his line spread right there, but right now he's actually in this double A gap, and I think this is where I know huddle against this guy, because I'm like, okay, I want to keep you in this double A gap, and I want to try to abuse you with this dual run, because this dual run, these guys are going to get on each of those blockers, because these guys are all accounted for with the duo. He actually checks out. He pulls his defenders out of the hole. So he knows he's kind of in a bind because I'm no huddling him. And I think what I did is I took a timeout because I want to kind of save some time to get myself in field goal range and hopefully score. So right here he presses his guys down. In this type of situation, I think I go with levels. I wanted to give myself a faster read. I usually do a deep comeback route with this route, but that takes a little bit more time to develop. And unfortunately, with this pressure that can come in, I don't have time for that to develop. I've got to go ahead and do something a little bit shorter. So I'm going to do just a curl route like so, and he actually jumps into cover 3. I drop it down to the running back, and he's unable to come onto it, so I actually catch the ball. So I should have probably went ahead and threw that ball a little bit earlier, but I was looking off, and my progression took me a little bit longer than normal. So press look once again, 2-eye safety. So if these guys release, that means these guys have got inside shading, with this. But I think, in this type of situation, it's going to be, it might be some type of hybrid coverage. So right here, I go ahead and jump into this angle route. I think what I was reading was that it was going to be some type of a cloud coverage. So if this guy slides out, this running back will be wide open for an easy completion based on this play. And if he doesn't slide out, I'll look for the crosser. So you can see the running back was open, but I didn't like the underneath coverage, so I chopped it down to a little dragger underneath. Got myself a 4th and 4. Probably going to hit something over the top, but I just didn't like that. Now he goes in a dollar against me, and I go into this particular play. A lot of people like to play a lot of cloud coverages in dollars and zone drop coverages. So I streak this guy up, and then the inside whip, which I haven't shown him the entire game, is available. People will live and die by that type of passing concept right there, where they have an inside whip with with 2 streaks on either side of it. So you can run those plays exclusively. I just like to try to blend it in, just so I don't become very predictable. And I'm seeing cover 2. So this guy's outside shade. He's inside shade. He's outside shade, and he's got this type of shade. This guy's actually mixing up his defenses, but he doesn't really, he's not disguising his defenses. So I'm going to watch this guy. This guy should carry with this streak, and this streak should get out a little bit clearer and carry, and I'm going to try to pop this route right here for the touchdown. So watch this. This is a great play to jump into the cover 2. This guy sticks. He's out of position. He's got to go ahead and play the middle of the field and take this guy. This guy's not carrying or sliding out, so I'm going to be able to hit this guy right here in that particular area of the field, pop him right there, and actually get the ball into the end zone for basically a touchdown. So I wanted to share this with you guys right now. I have on my YouTube channel, I got basically I've got basically a bunch of ebooks and stuff like that. And I do have the spread playbook, but I did specifically went ahead and re-recorded this particular scheme. I'll have this, and I'll have something that's going to break down basically the going against some match coverages and how to get one-play touchdowns off that. So wanted to kind of show you that I do have that printed or recorded. It's about 30 minutes long. Kind of shows you how what I'm looking at and some of how I run certain plays. And then basically it's going to show you how I break down certain type of coverages if it's match coverages and I can read it correctly. So right here, a little whip route. He's playing a lot of man coverage. This guy really wasn't disguising his coverage at all. He wasn't showing me one thing and actually coming out of another one, making me do post-snap reads. A lot of the stuff he was doing just was pretty generic. Right here, off tackle, able to pick up a couple yards right there. I just kind of sprinkle it in. I want to make sure that my opponent has to defend the run. This defensive line was pretty good right here. Another inside run and actually pick up a couple more yards. So 3rd and 2 against them. It is a scoring situation. I've got to score against this guy. This guy was getting a lot of fluky scores against me. Here's that little angle route I was showing you before, so you can see the concepts like so. This is a little drag, and then you got a route that carries over the middle of it. And if a guy's playing cloud coverages where they're playing hard flats, which is really a meta online, you can jump into this halfback angle, pop that, and then if you miss that read, you've got the drag underneath it to actually come back to and make a second progression. So once again, he's pressing a lot. He's pulling this guy off. I brought in a blitzer, and right here I'm able to go off tackle and actually pick up some pretty good yards right there. So I'm just quickly snapping into plays right now. Jumping it back into the duo once again. He shifts his line off to the strong side of the formation, and I'm able to go ahead and fall forward and pick up some good yards. That's the only good thing about like having a scheme that you really have mastered, and you know where you want to go with the ball and how to switch things up, and having the ability to run the ball off to the left, up the middle, off to the right, and then having passing plays to attack different areas of the field. It's very, very difficult. Right here, I try to snap it to get him off sides, and I go ahead and hit the flat with the running back, and I'm able to go and do that. So I like to throw my running back. It is like, you know, kind of a tell that one of the things that I like to do, but throwing to the running back is just one of the part of the things I like to do with my schemes. And let's see here, back into basically this RPO play. Hit this play, get really good blocking, and able to get the tight end into the backfield right there, into the end zone with that. So basically, he comes back and scores again. So he's chasing me down with scores. I've got basically a quarter to get the ball down the field and score again. I don't want to put him in a situation. So I'm up by 2 points. In this type of situation, you want to go and chew the clock down as much as possible, but also put 7 points on the board, because in this game you get a lot of fluky animations. People will get one-play touchdowns at the end of the game, it's the type of situation where you want to try to go ahead and make sure that you don't give up any bad plays. So right here I go back to the switch concept, which is with the China concept, is what I audible into, and I've got the outside leverage, so I can take this as long as this guy doesn't press down. I can take this because he's showing me like kind of a man blitz, but I also have this route that'll be available to me if it's man blitz too. So let's see if we quick snap and actually take the out. We do, but I get rid of the ball a little bit too late. My timing was off. I just rushed it. I got excited because he's been pressing so much that I just got rid of the ball, and I just threw it a little bit too quick. So right here, took it again. So he gave it to me again. That time I just slowed down, split second to actually go and take that. So now he's showing me a closed look, single high safety. That means I can't throw a post over the middle of the field. Seams are available typically in these type of situations unless he's playing some type of a cover 3 seam. So you want to go ahead and use your cover 3 beaters in this if you want to do that. Presses his guys down, and he's basically saying, hey, you want to go and attack me, do it over the middle. Right here, I knew that if he was in man coverage, I'll be able to get the outside leverage, because those defensive backs actually fall back into pass coverage with that. So those are things that you want to look at when you're actually using your running scheme right here. So now another 0-1 trap, and the reason I'm jumping to 0-1 trap is the center is uncovered. So what this means is this guy is going to come over, hit him, and this guy's going to block at a higher level, and I think the center should go up to the next level too. So if I get the blocking and Bosa doesn't come off the edge, it's going to be fairly effective. But he shifts his line off to the right. I don't like it. So I go back into China right now just because I'm anticipating this guy to run man coverage. He does, and I'm able to go catch that. I'm just pass leading these balls out a little bit too further than I like to. So you can see the clock is milking right down. I'm actually moving the ball really effectively against this guy, chewing the clock down. If I can get inside the 2-minute warning, that's going to really stress this guy out. He goes with a heavier front. He brings the safeties down to the box. I think what he was doing, he's using a cloud coverage. So he had these guys out, cloud. He's bringing these guys down into hook zones, and he's got this guy into deep half or a deep middle, and that's basically the defense he's using. He's kind of using a dime defense against me. And let's see, I've switched this up, and I block my guy and use a slant on the back side, and there's nobody out for the whip. am able to go and get that because I think he actually sent a blitzer in. So be able to get an easy completion right there. So he didn't really have any kind of defensive scheme. I didn't have to necessarily adjust to this guy's defensive scheme. It wasn't like he was dictating what I wanted to do. I was dictating what he wanted to do, and he was trying to find a way to stop what it was doing. Little running back, basically RPL, be able to go ahead and fall forward and get the game-winning score right there to basically seal it out. So, once again, guys, thank you for your support. If you guys are interested and you want to see, this, some of the stuff I have on my Patreon, you take a look at it. I'm gonna have that spread playbook that'll be on the Patreon, so you can take a look at that. So, once again, thank you for your support, guys. Until next time.